Hey everyone, Jack Delahy here, founder of collegeconsulting.us. What you're about to see in the upcoming video is one of our college coaches, Piotr, who is exceptional, and a 30-minute one-on-one call with one of our high school juniors, Charlie. Now, a couple things I want to point out here because this is a pretty exceptional meeting and I wanted to share it with the world. First thing is, notice how in the first third to half of the discussion, Piotr really just asks a handful of questions and lets Charlie talk. In the college confidence community, we really pride ourselves on having students take ownership of the journey. Now, believe me, we're there every step of the way to provide guidance, motivation, accountability, but there's something amazing that happens when it clicks in their mind that this is their college planning journey. As much as Piotr, myself, anyone else on the team would love to be back in our college years, it's not our journey. Ultimately, they're the ones who are going to go to college for the next 4 years. So I think it's really great how Piotr starts out just by asking questions and really letting Charlie go. Then after that, notice how right around at the halfway mark, Piotr assesses Charlie's school list and sees that it's pretty reach heavy, which, by the way, is very common for students who are elite academically. They often have a school list that's very reach heavy. And in our program, while it's great to have reach schools, we also need to balance that out with target schools, probable schools, and safety schools. And so notice how Piotr assesses that and then just kind of reels Charlie in a little bit at about the halfway mark and makes some suggestions for schools that he thinks could be a fit based on what Charlie has brought up, but also that don't fall into the reach category, maybe are targets or probables or even safety schools. And he makes 3 recommendations, so take a look at that. Lastly, just notice how knowledgeable Piotr is. To be honest, this is why I brought him on the team, and I'm just so impressed. He knows a tremendous amount about colleges. In about a 4-minute span in the last third, Charlie asks about University of Maryland, Harvey Mudd, and then Dartmouth. Those are 3 drastically different schools in terms of location, size, entire school vibes. And notice how immediately Piotr just knows exactly what the school is about, how to assess it, and really how to answer Charlie's question. So by the end of 30 minutes, they have accomplished a tremendous amount, going all the way from talking about high school and class selection to school lists to answering dozens of Charlie's questions. So I thought it was really good. I just wanted to show it to you. That is it for me. Now I'll give it over to Piotr and Charlie. Enjoy.
Hey, what's up, Charlie? Sorry if you were waiting. I was in another meeting and we just got talking.
You're fine.
Okay, awesome. Are you in like a studio right now?
I'm in, yeah, it's like our movie room, and then behind me is our arcade. Kind of
okay. I thought they were speakers or something. That's cool. What kind of arcade games you got?
Yeah. Let's see. I'll just walk over there. I can't remember the names. Let's see. And then the Golden Tee game.
God, you have a bunch of them.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
That's awesome.
Thanks. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it would make for like fun, like little like sleepovers, and like when your friends come over and just all just like a cool little room.
Yeah, it does. It's pretty fun. Gives you a lot to do.
Right? Yeah. Awesome. Well, let me pull up. So last time we talked, I know like you're a little bit behind on the program, and I kind of told you in section 2 and 3.
Yep.
Where are you at right now? I haven't taken a peek, but
so yeah, right now I'm in section 4. So I finished section 3, and I'm just starting section 4.
Awesome. Great job, man. Way to catch up.
Thanks.
Any questions on the material you've gone through so far? Like, I know that you probably took in a lot.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think the big thing that I really need to focus on right now, from the material, and I want to review it, is the like my story portion of the application. Kinda, because at one point Jack told me that I need to like really define it and refine what I'm doing so that I can put it down in words. And I think that's kind of the next big thing I need to go back and review in the curriculum.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Have you started to do that worksheet that kind of goes over that?
Yeah, I have gone. Yeah, I have done it.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Awesome. So more of just finding time to do it, and then actually doing it.
Okay.
But yeah, I've been working on. I mentioned like trying to get internships, so I've been working on that, talking to some different people applying for them. So
Okay.
yeah, we'll see where that goes. And then if not,
What
I'll
have you
be
talked to so far? Like what kind, like, are you reaching out to businesses or is there friends and family or?
yeah. So the big one I applied for recently is at NASA at the University of Texas Austin campus. You can go
Okay.
down there and live in the student dorms, and then NASA will bus you around Austin and to Dallas, and then you get to work with them for the summer. And then
Really
yeah,
cool.
so, yeah, that's one of the big ones. I'm excited. I find out May 1st, hopefully, if I got it or not.
Okay,
That'd
so
be,
you already had like did a formal application, all that.
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I applied for that one. And then I also went to I had nationals for Cyber Patriots that I went to.
Hmm.
And I got the contact information and connected on LinkedIn with some people who are super excited about internships. There is the two directors of like cybersecurity operations and then business operations at Northrop. And
Uh-huh.
then I also got to talk to the CIO of the Air and Space Forces, and she was super excited about stuff. So we'll see.
Nice. Dude, I
Thanks.
am loving your initiative on reaching out.
Thank you.
Yeah, like honestly, like that's the way to do it. I always tell my students
Thanks.
when it comes to like internships, like a lot of times
Uh-huh.
there's a lot of internships for high school students that are just kind of like you just kind of like pay to kind of like just
Yeah.
sit around and stuff, like they're not
Yep.
really that great. And I
Yeah.
tell people like the good stuff, like the really good stuff happens when you like kind of reach out to people and it can be scary,
Yeah.
because it's like intimidating and like you're probably gonna get a lot of no's before you get a yes.
Yeah.
But when you show initiative, a lot of times people like that really impresses people, and that's when they're going to take a chance on you. So,
Yeah.
um, like from my experience with my students in the past who have had like really awesome internships as high school students, it's
Nice.
been them like finding people in the industries they're interested
Okay.
in and like randomly out to them. So
Yeah. All right. All right. Yeah.
that's
So
awesome.
yeah, I'll definitely continue with that. See where I can get with those people. Yeah.
That's awesome. Super awesome.
Thank you. Thanks.
Um, Let me see here. What else do I want to go over? Um, I did want to check in with your college list
Oh yeah.
and kind of because we haven't had a chance to do that.
Yeah.
And I see you got your transcript uploaded, which is awesome. And obviously you're crushing it.
Oh.
Yeah, doing great. Let me see here. Have you signed up for classes for next year?
Yeah, I have. They make us sign up in like January, I think it is.
Well, that's
Yeah,
really early.
super early.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
So
yeah, I think
do you know if you got what you requested yet, or is that something that happens later?
yeah, I went down and talked to my counselor. I try and check in with her every once in a while. And
Okay.
she was showing me that she was able to get me all the classes I requested.
Awesome.
So yeah. Yeah.
What do you have? Do you know what do you have? What you're gonna have?
Yeah. No, it's fine. I'm trying to remember. I'm doing the AP Calculus BC.
Okay.
And then I'm doing the AP US Government and then AP Macroeconomics.
Okay.
And then I'm doing Cybersecurity 3 and 4.
Okay.
Then trying to remember. I'm going for the community college that's local to us. They're hosting English classes, and we're able to take them at our school. So like concurrent enrollment stuff. So I'm doing 2 of those next year. Then
Nice.
I don't remember.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Okay. So
that's the thing.
your college your course list is gonna look really, really solid.
Cool.
Awesome. So that's looking good. Okay, college list wise, do you have a tracker for that?
Yes, I do.
Do you mind sharing
Yeah.
that link? Just put it in the chat or something though.
Yeah. Let me pull it up. Just a sec. Sorry. I have way too many Google accounts. Can't
Yeah.
remember
While you're looking for that, I don't know if I talked to you about this last time. Have you
Uh-huh.
taken the ACT or SAT?
Yeah, I've taken the ACT and then I'm taking the SAT on Wednesday.
Oh, okay. So you're going through both. What was your ACT score?
I want to say 21. It was worse. Like when you compare it to my PSAT score, I did worse on the ACT. So I think I'm gonna.
So that's why you're going to take that. Is that why you're taking the SAT this week?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
Have you
I don't know.
any practice SATs?
Yeah. So I've done the PSAT 9 and then the PSAT 10, and then
Okay.
I've been trying to go over like the last week when I get time. Practice questions for the stuff I need work on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you have any idea score wise, or like either give me your ACT score or like what you think the SAT, like what you're shooting for ish?
I'm shooting for this time on the SAT for a 1300 or 1310.
Okay.
That's what, yeah. Because I haven't. Okay. This should be
Okay.
the college tracker. Let's see. Yeah, it is. So yeah, I think the what's the name? Oh yeah, because I haven't had an insane amount of time to study for it, and I've been not prioritizing it like I should have been. So I'm not expecting to do fantastic, but
Yeah.
I'm hoping that across the board, a lot of like my practice test scores for AP things, especially, have been
Mhm.
raising. And my biggest issue has always been time. I think on the last PSAT I did, I forgot a calculator, which wasn't fantastic.
That's rough. Yeah.
Yeah, and then B, I also just run out of time. I'm trying to remember. I typically don't get to answering 5 to 10 questions in each section, which is a complete score killer.
Yeah.
So mainly focusing on time is what I need to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So look at your college list.
Yeah.
Relatively short. So I'm assuming, does this feel like it's getting towards like the end, like you're getting solidified, or is it just you,
Oh, what were you gonna say?
or is it just kind of earlier on and then still growing?
I'd say it's early on and still growing.
Yeah.
I'm constantly looking at a lot of colleges, and
Mhm.
I usually forget. I always try and like write them down and then
Yeah.
remember later when I'm on this to add them, but I just
Mhm.
haven't remembered to add a lot of them. But
Okay.
yeah, so there's a lot more colleges that I'm looking at, but quite a
Yeah.
few of the big ones that I'm really focusing on, I guess.
Yeah. And I see you have some really selective ones on there.
Yeah, I need to.
And that's
Yeah,
okay. That's totally cool. Like that's no, usually early on, that's kind of the way it leans.
yeah,
Um, but like Boulder is not as selective, obviously. Um, yeah, it's gonna be the easiest one on there. I love
yeah.
Colorado School of Mines.
Thanks.
Now most people don't know of that one as much, just because it's
Yeah,
it's not a big college with like sports and stuff like that.
no,
So, but for people who are looking at engineering, computer science, stuff like that,
yeah,
great place. So,
yeah,
um, which schools? So I know you last time you told me NYU, like you really loved, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, I
Um,
actually. Oh,
go ahead.
oh no, it's fine. I was gonna say I actually got a tour of that one a few weeks ago, and yeah, I still really loved it.
Okay.
I kept on hearing a lot that you should probably go tour that one. Like, it's not a normal college. It's
Exactly.
definitely not a normal college, but I
Yeah.
really liked it, and I thought it was super cool.
Okay. What have you noticed what it is that you're gravitating towards that you're really liking?
I'd say the biggest thing is the city and the opportunity and internships. It's kind of cliche, like, oh, New York City, so awesome. And I know that, yeah, there's some other big names around there college wise that'll also grab up those opportunities.
Mhm.
But that's kind of the big thing is the internships. And like my dad gets to go there for work, and I love seeing all the buildings and stuff. And I don't know, I think it'd be a very interesting place to live and
Okay.
get in.
So do you really want to be in like an urbanish environment?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
And
Um,
mhm,
anything else? Is that like the biggest factor or?
I'd say yes. Some of the stuff I learned on the tour has also become some of my other big factors. Um, like I really like after you graduate, you can use their legal department still. So if you have like patent ideas, if you want to start a company or a nonprofit, you can go back and use the NYU legal department and they'll help you out with it. And then they also have awesome like alumni boards that people have been able to get like investments through, which I know that a lot of colleges like to advertise that. But I think the legal department thing is one of the cool and unique things.
Yeah. Have you ever looked into University of Washington?
Not a lot, no.
You should check that out. Because they have a great program.
Okay.
You're right there in a great part of Seattle, and you're gonna have a lot of internship opportunities in that city. Like it's it's a great city for that, for that field. And even though it's selective, it's not as uber crazy selective as like some of the other lists, right? So like just to try to balance your list out a little bit, it's going to give you a little bit more weight in the middle of your list. University of Washington would definitely worth a look. Also, it's not necessarily really in the heart of the city, but it's like half an hour, 40 minutes outside of Philadelphia. It might be worth looking at Lehigh.
Oh, okay.
Have you heard of that one?
No, I haven't heard of that one before.
Yeah, Lehighh. I mean, it's pretty selective, but anything STEM related, they're freaking awesome. Just absolutely.
Yeah, I've never heard that.
It's a medium-sized school, so it's going to be a little bit smaller than those on your list, but you have some smaller schools on your list too. But it's medium-sized. You're talking like 5,000 undergrads, maybe 4,000 or 5,000 undergrad. That one would be worth. That one's definitely worth a look. Pitt.
Okay.
Check out University of Pittsburgh would be a good one to look at too.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
So that's just three. Those are just three to just help maybe balance out your list a little bit. Check them out. If you don't like, by the way, and with all my suggestions, like I'll never hurt if you don't like them. If you don't like either of these, it's cool with me. Like it's like I have no skin in the game.
Yeah.
But I think they might have some features that you might be interested in. And again, I'm always trying to look to balance out that list. So check those three out. Let me know what you think.
Well,
at least one of them. Okay. What else?
I was gonna say one of the other big-ish criterias that I've been looking at is one of the other interesting areas, because I really like math, and computer science definitely has math, but I'd like to do it more into my career. And quantum computing inside of computer science was looking really interesting. So some of these colleges that I added to were because of their quantum computing programs and ability to do it, I guess. So if you know any input on stuff like that, that'd also be very, because I don't know a lot about it.
So there's not many schools that are going to have that, and the ones that are going to be like a lot of the larger universities, which is fine. Let me wrap my brain on that. Let me think about that. I'll get back to you. What if it's not in the urban environment?
Yeah, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
I mean, urban environment is, I'd eventually like to live there, but the college, I'd be totally fine with whatever size it is and wherever it is.
Okay. And you gotta remember, like, as an undergraduate, you it's 4 years of your life, but which at this point, maybe it sounds like a lot to you, but it's a drop in the bucket at the end. But also, the cool thing about college is you get to go experience it, and then you're not committing to living there afterwards. Like after you graduate, you get to go wherever you want, and actually, like even you're talking about internships, to be honest, like a lot of times internships are done in the summertime. So like even if you're at NYU, the likelihood is you probably will have an internship not in New York, but in some other city, right?
Yeah.
So like you don't necessarily need to be in the urban environment for that stuff anyway. So But yeah, okay,
Okay.
cool.
Yeah.
Any other questions on anything?
I think, let's see. I guess University of Maryland. They were an interesting one that I went through because I was up. Yeah, when I did NYU, I also went down there to DC area.
Mhm.
What do you have any opinions? Like, do you know much about University of Maryland?
Yeah, to be honest, I just for whatever reason I have never had many students apply there.
Yeah.
I think because the location, usually when students look in that mid-Atlantic region, they tend Maryland tends to get overshadowed by like the Georgetowns of the world, you
Yeah.
know, like Johns Hopkins and all that. But I think Maryland does offer a lot of bang for your buck in terms of the quality of education versus how selective the school is. You know,
Okay.
so a lot of times you get obviously, you know, like school when the school's really selective, you know, it's so hard to get in, right?
Yeah.
And then you have schools that are not hard to get into. And that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a quality education. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just because it's
Yeah.
hard to get into doesn't necessarily doesn't mean it's a great place.
Yeah.
And just because it's easy to get into doesn't mean it's not a good education.
Yeah.
And I think Maryland tends to offer a great balance in terms of how selective it is versus how you know how good of a quality of education is.
Okay.
It is a really large university, like it's really large, so like that is the thing that you have to deal with, right? Like as long as you're down with that. And I always tell students with schools that big, you have to be very self-motivated. You have to be someone who's like, I could sit in the back of the class, take my notes, you know, read the material and do all that. Maryland's not a place for someone who's like, I need to have classroom conversations because Maryland's massive and they have huge classes. So that's one thing you have to keep in mind. You
Okay.
know,
Yeah.
you're not gonna get that touchy feely, get to know my professors kind of vibe there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Um, yeah, but the campus is wait, did you get to visit? Did you say you
Uh,
visit?
I got to walk around it. Yeah. I didn't get an
Yeah.
official tour because there's
Okay.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the campus is, I mean, the campus location and all that is actually pretty beautiful for the area, you know? Like you're not you're you know, you're kind of off on your own, like you're not in the city, you know, you're not like in Baltimore or anything like that, you know, like College Park is its own kind of place.
Yeah.
I think I think it's a neat little college town.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and
Yeah.
they got pretty dope creamery on campus if you like ice cream, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, but in all
Yeah.
seriousness, um, yeah, I think for a large university, I think it's quality. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
especially in the stuff that you're looking at.
Yeah. Makes sense. And then I guess kind of complete inverse of that school would be Harvey Mudd. Do you like
Man,
what's that school is so tiny, but it's also yeah, very
yeah,
selective it looks like.
it's extremely selective.
Yeah.
Um, Harvard's tough, man. Uh, you're gonna need to get I mean, your test score is gonna need to jump significantly. Unless you get up in the 1500s, it's gonna be a really tough one to even think about applying to.
Yeah.
Harvey Mudd is also, and this is without knowing kind of like your like how you are in this, but Harvey
Yeah.
Mudd is hardcore. Like you gotta want to like spend every day studying. Like you gotta be someone who loves to just study and geek out on like the material and just like dive in. And if you are that, awesome.
Okay.
But if you're not, you're gonna be pretty miserable.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Was hardcore.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah. But the students that you know that are going there, like
Yeah.
it's really selective. I mean, you're talking it's MIT selectivity level, you know,
Yeah.
it's yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Makes sense.
but I mean you have good grades.
Okay.
I would definitely we're gonna need to get in the 1500s and like your story is going to need to be really, really strong. Like you're going to need to really show that like you are an expert in your field,
Okay.
so like the fact that you're kind of, talking to these people in the industry and like you have that background, like it's possible. Like, if that kind of comes through and you can do something solid there, it can definitely work out. But
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
that makes
reach.
sense.
That's a big reach.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Okay.
Yeah.
And then do you know, so I was kind of looking at, I couldn't find any official stats, I guess, on it. But like some of these colleges that are very hard to get into, but still have good opportunity at them, it looks like sometimes it's easier for computer science. Like, for instance, Dartmouth, their computer science program doesn't look big at all. And from the
But that
only
doesn't mean that doesn't mean it's not selective. That just they keep it small. Like you have remember like Dartmouth, even though it's an Ivy League school, it's medium sized. Like they are much more undergraduate focused than some of the other Ivies. Like they want to have their classroom sizes small. They're purposely keeping it small. So yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then do you think, I mean, I guess it very depends college to college. Do you think in a case like that where they're keeping it very small, and like, do you think it'd be worth it to go there? Like, do you know if there'd be much opportunity for
Oh
colleges? Like,
no, that
okay,
doesn't mean there's no
yeah,
opportunities. Yeah, when it's small, actually, you will get different opinions on this, but I'm a big believer you get more opportunities the smaller the program is.
okay,
Because like, okay, look, when you're doing like you need like letters of recommendation from a teacher. Like
yeah,
when it's a small program, you get to know your teachers, right? When you want to do research with your professor and there's no
oh,
graduate students to compete with and there's fewer students, like
yeah,
there's less competition for those spots.
okay,
Usually like when you go to a smaller school,
yeah,
the students are more involved. They have to do more things to make all those things run.
okay,
Whereas at the large institutions, when there's 30,000 people, like you don't have to be involved because there's
no,
someone else who's going to take your spot and do it for you.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay, that makes sense.
yeah.
And then, yeah, sorry that I keep on skipping around. I'll try and hurry this one up. So as far as I was talking to one of my friends who she got into some Ivy League, Stanford, few other big names, cool schools. But she was talking about how, because I do a lot of clubs and do a lot
Mhm.
with them, she was talking about how it really seemed in her applications that that the clubs weren't really what they cared about in it. And she did some other very cool stuff. But do you think that the clubs aren't as important? Like, do you
So,
feel that? Yeah.
first of all, she has no idea what the admissions office was thinking when they read her application. I'm going to tell you that right now. But
Okay.
she has some point to it. Like, look, they want people who are involved, right? They're adding people to their community. They want people who are involved. But it's not that they're looking for like, oh, you gotta be doing this and that and that. They're looking to see what impact you are making. So if you're part of a club, are you an impactful member of that club, or are you just someone like in the background of it?
Yeah,
You know,
that makes sense. Yeah.
they want to see what makes you tick.
Okay.
What are you passionate about? What do you do? And
Yeah.
oftentimes at places like that, like they're looking for unique stories.
Okay.
Yeah, like
Okay.
when you're interesting, like it's just different. Like there's like if you're president of a club, like that's great. But to be honest, like at every high school, there's 50 presidents of clubs, right? And
Yeah.
there's only 1,000 seats at this college that is getting 50,000 applications. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I was kind of wondering about it. I was like, I mean, that is an interesting fact. I've always just kind of gone with the given of, yeah, I'm president of a bunch of random clubs and I do a lot with them. But
Yeah.
like, is that really going to be enough?
It can be. It just depends how selective the school is, But I'll tell students this. Look, each year try to go deeper. So like, it's not that you want to do more stuff, but try to think of like which clubs are most important to you, and see if the one or two that are most important to you, is there something that you can do to change it, to make it better, to make it stronger? Is there a way of getting it more involved in the community, right? like whether it's cybersecurity, it's like, is there a way that you can make that club more impactful somehow, right? Whether it's linking it to some other organization outside or whatever it is, right? It's about taking it and how are you going to leave your legacy?
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, cool. Because I was looking at just before this. I was in a meeting at my school, and we were talking about trying to combine our business clubs with our like our cybersecurity clubs, and then using that to get them actually involved in the community and doing stuff. And I was wondering how fruitful that effort would be. But it sounds like,
But that can be because now you're doing you're creating new things, right? You're combining it with something else. Like it can be, for sure.
Okay, that makes sense. Cool. Thank you.
All right, Charlie. I'm so sorry, but I gotta get to my next meeting.
I know. You're fine.
The next one.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of your day.
Have a good one.
Thanks, you too.